Hello, everyone. Thanks, everyone, for scheduling this amazing session onto your calendar for today. We're very excited to kick off USAC week with a bang. My name is Charles Petranek. I'm going to be kind of your master of ceremonies this week, so I'll be behind the scene on all the different sessions, helping out with the Q&A. But without further ado, I want to go ahead and have us kick off this session. And so to do that, I'm going to turn it over to our two amazing presenters today that are going to talk about one of our awesome programs in Costa Rica. So take it away, Brandon.
All right. So excited, so much anticipation. Well, welcome everyone again, as Charles was eloquently saying a second ago. I'm so excited for you guys to come learn about studying abroad in Heredia. We have a couple of presenters today, myself, Carlitos, he is here at the central office himself, and then I have a little bit of a surprise guest towards the end of the presentation who I can see is also present. So without, again, further ado, let's get right into it, okay? So we have a little bit of an overview here. Introductions, ¿Dónde está? Where is Costa Rica? A little bit more about Heredia, Costa Rica. Some Tico Culture 101. We have a nice little lesson coming up. Why Costa Rica? Universidad Nacional de Costa Rica, UNA. Expanded course offerings, which is going to be a major facet of today's presentation. Staying at the homestay, immersion opportunities, 24-25 program updates, some exciting updates for you to share, quick details, choosing Heredia, a day in the life, and what students are saying. So bit of an agenda, but we're gonna get through it in the most Costa Rica way possible, okay? Let's see here. Okay, so to start us off, I kind of want everyone to close their eyes. And I do see some videos, so I can see if eyes are open. So if everyone can go ahead and close their eyes for me, okay? Close your eyes, close your eyes. Okay, so just while your eyes remain closed, just focus on my words. As the sun begins its slow descent beyond the horizon, casting a warm pink hue across the sky, you take your first step in the humid nighttime ambiance of San Jose. The air is alive with the melody of motorists, cars, chirping crickets, people, and the distant rustle of leaves as the jungle comes alive with the promise of nightfall. You are greeted by the balmy hug of the tropical evening, a soft caress that envelopes you like a comforting embrace. The scent of exotic blooms hangs in the air, mingling with an earthy aroma of rain-soaked soil, a symphony of fragrances that awakens the senses and beckons you further into this enchanting land. As you make your way through the bustling streets in the back seat of your host family's car, you are captivated by the vibrant tapestry of colors that surround you, from the lush greenery that carpets the landscape to the vivid hues of the colonial Spanish buildings that line the effervescent streets. Each corner the car moves forward feels like a journey into the heart of paradise, a kaleidoscope of sights and sounds that leaves you spellbound and eager for more. Seeing the locals enjoy their eventide, your world seems to slow down, as if caught in a state of suspended animation, allowing you to savor every precious moment of this magical twilight hour. As you stand on the threshold of this new beginning, you can't help but to feel a sense of anticipation coursing through your veins. As the stars begin to twinkle overhead, you know that this is only the beginning of a journey that promises to be nothing short of the extraordinary. All right, everyone, you can now open your eyes. So everyone, bienvenidos a Costa Rica. Okay, welcome, welcome, welcome. So we just took you on a nice little journey here. As I often tell my students, it takes a village, and the village here includes Esmeralda Rosales, the enrollment specialist, Joe Urich as the program's student accounting specialist, myself as the program's advisor, in addition to our on-site superheroes that are Carlos Oviedo, commonly known as Carlitos, as the program's resident director, who's here again presenting with me from the central office, and Christina Sie, who is the program's on-site staff assistant. All in all, a village getting students to Costa Rica. So ¿dónde está? Where is Costa Rica? Calling Costa Rica a jewel would be an understatement. On one side is the Pacific Ocean, and on the other side is the Atlantic Ocean, or just rather the Caribbean Sea. So definitely the best of both worlds, as the vibes are totally different. So as you kind of eloquently gathered in my monologue at the beginning, Costa Rica is known for a variety of things. The biggest ones including geographical diversity, biodiversity, complex ecosystems, and of course the people. Tico culture probably has been one of my most favorite things about Costa Rica during my time advising for the program. And I'm excited to share a little bit more about Tico culture shortly. Up north is Nicaragua, and to the south is Panama. At the center of it all is San Jose, and that's the country's capital. This is where the main airport is, the country's main airport. There are a few other international airports, but San Jose is the main one, and that is where students for the Heredia program flying to. I think a lot of the study abroad alumni here in this session can agree with me when I say that when you study abroad, adventure is never in short supply. There can be a million and one things to do in Costa Rica, the main ones being some of the things that I've listed here. And yeah, a little bit more about where Costa Rica is. So Heredia itself, not many people know this, but Heredia is actually a province as well. So Costa Rica has 7 provinces with Heredia as its own. A fun little fact, Heredia sits in the foothills of the dormant Barva volcano. So part of the things that students do is just hike a bunch of volcanoes when they study abroad in Costa Rica. So then that's just the one of them that actually rests in the city of Heredia. So known for its lush green landscape and of course yummy coffee plantations, unique culture. Heredia is a suburb of San Jose. And again, it boasts the largest and busiest airport in Costa Rica. This is where host families will pick up the students and take them home with the backdrop of on-site staff present throughout the day. As is with like the theme of Costa Rica, just one is never shy. No one is ever shy of adventures and just what to do. So in Heredia specifically, a lot of the students just go to the Church of Immaculate Conception, they stroll through the botanical gardens, they visit the Central Market, and explore the old Spanish architecture and ruins. And again, this is just in Heredia itself. So then I can only imagine some of the other things that students do throughout the different cities across the country. And so I'm excited about this slide. And with this, I'll have Carlitos take this one over. So take it away, Carlitos.
Hello, everybody. My name is Carlos Oviedo, but since we have too many Carloses in Costa Rica, people call me Carlitos. I'm very happy to talk to you about the Tico culture. The Pura Vida lifestyle is just a way of living in Costa Rica. Pura Vida means everything. It can be a question, it can be an answer. Means like you're okay, you're fine, how's your day? For anything, you just respond Pura Vida, and people will understand. The people in Costa Rica are very nice. I would say people are very like warm. They really care about each other, and you will feel welcome in Costa Rica. People are like extremely helpful. Even if they don't know the right answer, you're asking for a direction, they will help you, even if they're gonna send you to the wrong or the opposite place. But the people are super nice, so you can trust them. You will be in good hands, Something very important about Costa Rica is like the location. Thanks to our location close to the equator, we have a really nice weather. It's only like 2 seasons, the raining season and the less raining season. So it's perfect. Everything is so green thanks to the rain that we got for months. Soccer is very important in Costa Rica. Jacob can tell you about that. It's so nice. Soccer is everything. It's kind of like a religion, like that. People, they're gonna talk about politics and religion and stuff, but mainly soccer. And everything's gonna be pura vida. At the end, it doesn't matter if you go with Saprissa, Alajuela, Heredia. Of course, I want you to support Heredia because that's where we are located, and that's probably the best team that we have in Costa Rica. But the main thing is, chicos, if you decide to study in Costa Rica, you're gonna be in good hands. You're gonna be happy. The host families who are gonna pick you up at the airport, they're gonna take care of you. They're gonna really include you with the family. They're gonna make sure that you're okay, So enjoy enjoy and take advantage of a beautiful country, nature and ecology. The whole ecotourism is big in Costa Rica. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you, Carlitos.
Claro.
Okay, so next is our first video of the day. So now that we know why Costa Rica, I will play a video here to sort of help us guide us in that right direction. Alrighty. So again, in our journey of why, I think our first stop is Universidad Nacional de Costa Rica, or UNA. With a population of roughly 19,000 students, I know it's constantly fluctuating. It ranks very high in Latin America, and it's one of 5 public universities throughout the country. All USAC courses and classes, obviously with the exception of field studies, are taught on the actual campus itself. What's great about UNA is that USAC students are able to use a variety of different resources. So computer labs are available for use, certain classroom labs, attending certain workshops. So this includes sports workshops, cultural workshops, and just many of the other variety. Those are the main ones that USAC's students would adhere to. Exercise gyms, that's fairly common that students are able to use. And there's just multiple libraries across campus that are in each school as well. So each school has their own kind of little mini lab with some of the computers that USAC students can take advantage of. Once students arrive, they are provided a list of what is free and what is chargeable during orientation with Carlitos and Christina. UNA is very representative of Tico culture, in my opinion. It's very inclusive, very welcoming, and all in all, a great campus resource, or great on-campus resources that all students can take advantage of and be supported by. So our next stop on why Costa Rica is at the top, that puts the study and study abroad. So as you can see, there's quite a lengthy list that has been recently expanded for summer courses. So there's a lot of options that students can choose from. I will also note here that there are a couple of courses with a purple asterisk, and those are courses that have been brought over from San Ramon. So for summer, students typically take between 3 and 7 credits per summer session. And those who are attending summer session 1 and 2 kind of doubles that to earn between 6 and 14 credits for that course load. So at minimum, students must take at least 1 3-credit course for each enrolled session. Most 3-credit courses, or most of the courses are 3-credit courses with 1 or 2 1-credit courses that are kind of sprinkled in there. But yeah, again, very lengthy. Students have a lot to choose from when they choose USAC Heredia. And then the same goes for semester and year-long course offerings. So for this program's regular fall and spring, students typically enroll in 12 to 18 credits for the term. So again, a lengthy list of courses. It's been expanded to encompass a variety of majors and minors. These include Spanish language, Spanish literature, Latin American culture, as well as life sciences, health sciences, sports, the list goes on. So, and then the same thing here, some of the courses were brought over from San Ramon. So you'll see some of the purple asterisks kind of sprinkled in there. In addition to the average course load, students are highly encouraged to include 1 Spanish language course in that load. And then they can practice it with their host family too. Why not? So moving on, in addition to the course offerings, there's still the language tracks and the internships. The tracks are intensive with courses being taught back to back, all within one semester. So students will primarily be taking one track as their main course load for that, again, that entire semester long academic journey. So it theoretically, yes, it theoretically knocks out that, well, it can knock out an entire language requirement and even, or a minor, you know, it kind of varies with what the students' particular requirements may be at their home university. But again, that's absolutely astounding that they can knock out that entire requirement in one semester. A great benefit here is that language courses are smaller and typically have a maximum enrollment of about 15 students. So in my opinion, I think it's just very conducive to that one-on-one style, more individualized learning for learning the Spanish language. I think that's tremendously beneficial, that feedback shows that students absolutely love. During the fall, spring, and year-long terms, internships are also available. They're roughly about 3 credits each. Students will choose one of 3 main themes here, which are English language instruction, health and wellness, journalism, and communications. Each are super unique. They offer tremendous nuance for just a study abroad. These internships, they're very involved, very immersive, and they're not just confined to campus, but rather in the actual field. So in other words, tremendous resume booster. And they're actually really, like, for example, health and wellness. They shadow nurses, doctors. Some of the students themselves take vital measurements, so like heart rate, I don't know, some other vital measurements that they will take. Yeah, heart rate, probably blood pressure, temperature, stuff like that. And then assist patient interviews. So like truly like immersing yourself. That is much more, that tremendously nuances your academics and your study abroad. And then, yeah, the requirements range between having had 2 to 4 semesters of Spanish language learning or training. So that's primarily what the requirement will be for the internship. And again, they're usually around 3 credits each, so it'll add on to the course load. In addition to all of the courses, all of the labs, all of the language tracks, and all of the internships, USAC Heredia also offers newly expanded field studies. So these are around 1 credit each. They are designed with the goal of enriching a student's understanding of Costa Rica's cultural, historical, natural wonders. What's awesome about the field studies that they serve as just, they're very dynamic and complement the student's course load. It's, again, very immersive, experiential learning, practical application. And we love that students can just bridge that gap between classroom learning, classroom theory, and then practical engagement. So tremendously enhancing that the overall course load. And this is truly, again, it's what puts the study in the study abroad. And why not get credit for it too? So then these are a couple of the other, or these are a couple of the ones that we have that there are term specific. So like tropical ecology is summer session 1 and the fall, whereas tropical marine biology is summer 2 and spring. Tropical biodiversity is in the fall and spring. And then, yeah, so very dependent, but encompassing. Okay, staying with a homestay. So that is one of the biggest, just adds on to, one of the biggest things that truly sets this program apart is that all students stay with host families. For USAC Heredia, all of the students, again, stay with a variety of host families that live between 15 and 25-minute walking distance. The only action item that students need to do is completing a quick form on USAC Student Gateway, on their Gateway account, where they list any dietary restrictions, optional information related to identities or pronouns, overall preferences, even their Spanish language speaking capabilities. You know, we're not going to place you in a family where they speak very fluent Spanish, but no English, and you do not speak any Spanish. No, we try to avoid that. Carlitos and Christina do a phenomenal job on site of matching students with the perfect family. Homestay families, again, are located within walking distance. I know that during orientation, they take the students to orientation on campus for the first time, and then they sort of navigate their way subsequently. And then students stay with a variety of family types. So it can be a traditional family with children. It could be a single person with or without children. It can vary, truly. Yeah, and then breakfast and dinner are included, and some brown bag lunches are also possible. And overall, just with this homestay, not like mandatory homestay, but just offering this and sort of like having the students truly immerse themselves. This is a phenomenal way to reflect on your study abroad in the future. Again, tremendous resume booster. It can allow you to really practice your Spanish that you learn in the classroom, in the field study. So it's just an overall all-encompassing hub to just benefit you in that aspect. Okay. And to talk further about the program's immersion opportunities and field trips, I'll have Carlitos step back in here.
Yes, in Costa Rica, every week we're gonna organize like different activities for you. Of course, we're gonna go and play soccer with you once a week, or volleyball, or any activity, you know, like it can be a sports or cultural activity. But every week we try to organize something for the group of students. Also, we do have volunteer opportunities on campus or outside campus. It depends on what the student would like to do. So a lot of the students right now, they're doing volunteer stuff at the greenhouse on campus. Some of them are doing some volunteer work at the elementary school on campus and outside campus too. And of course, we have this program, it's called the Tico Friend, where we try to find like ticas for each student. So they get to know some local students, some UNA students, so they get to practice their Spanish and their English, you know, so I think it's a good way to do it. Of course, we have like different holidays like Independence Day, Semana Santa. So either we do something or the host family, they will do something with you. The host family, they also organize things to you, just to go, let's say, to the farmer's market, La Feria, you know, or to go into San Rafael downtown for an ice cream or things like that. Those are very important. You know, also, Chico, we offer the optional tour, which is very beautiful. We have one for the summer. With the 2 summer sessions, we do one optional tour, one for the spring, one for the fall. And we do like a mix of things, you know. We're gonna do, depends of when we go, the spring or summer, but we're gonna go and visit the rainforest, the dry forest. We're gonna do like zip lining, the chocolate tour, bird watching, hiking to the rainforest or the cloud forest, going to the really beautiful waterfalls. So the tropical biodiversity optional tour is a very nice option for the student, you know, something that they can add before or once they are in Costa Rica. Okay, so we're going to talk about the field trips. For the field trip, we have like a day trip and an overnight trip in each summer session, and also one during spring and fall semesters. What do? We're going to take you to places where the students is more difficult for them to visit because of the distance, because of the location, because of the transportation, etc. So we go to La Fortuna waterfall and the hot springs at Arenal volcano. The place is beautiful, so we go for a nice hike, and then just to relax, we go to the hot springs. So we have like a nice meal together as a group. And then the next day, students can do, they can stay in the hotel, or they can go with us into downtown La Fortuna, or we can go for a different walk into the waterfall, you see? And then Irazu volcano. Irazu volcano is the highest volcano in Costa Rica. It's one of the highest national park in Costa Rica besides Chirripó. So we go there for the day. We just go for a nice walk. Irazu was very active, now it's not so active. And then we go to Cartago, and we stop in Cartago. Used to be the capital of Costa Rica, for example, many years ago. So it's still a very important province with a lot of history, a lot of culture. So that's why we take the students there. Monteverde is well known because it's one of the most important cloud forests in the world. So of course, we go for a walk into the cloud forest, and also we do a very nice zip line in Monteverde. They have the longest and the most beautiful zip line is in this place in Monteverde. And also we go to La Paz and Poás volcano. Poás volcano recently is very active, safe, but very beautiful place to visit, of course. And also we will take you to different locations in Costa Rica. We can go to Rio Cuarto, to Rio Celeste, for example, near La Fortuna. So again, we're gonna do like different field trips, day trips, and overnight trips for our students. Things like, I think it's a perfect complement and a way for the students to see beautiful spots in Costa Rica. Thank you, Brandon.
Perfect. Oh my gosh, I want to book my ticket now. Okay, I do want to posit some updates that we have for USAC Heredia recently that's worthy of being mentioned here. Beginning in the summer of 2024, our Heredia program has absorbed the San Ramon program. So we have expanded a lot of the facets of the Heredia program to reflect, the main being courses and the field studies, as you have now seen. The apply by deadlines are around the corner, especially for summer session 1, with April 15th as the summer session 2 deadline, and 1 month later for the fall and year long. These deadlines are the deadline to apply. So remember, meaning your application does not have to be finalized before that date, but it can be finalized after. But nevertheless, we encourage you to apply early so we can get you in as soon as possible. And lastly, for the 24-25 academic year, USAC is offering a special scholarship for students deciding to choose this program. And I have a special someone to tell you what that is. Okay, here we go. So after 29 years as resident director, Dr. Carlos Salas announced that he will be retiring. He has been tremendously invaluable to USAC since he joined in 1995. So this scholarship is given in recognition of his dedication to his RD role. And again, the 2.5 GPA is a requirement, and all that else is being enrolled in Heredia. So nothing much to it. So having students submit the scholarship application as soon as possible would be phenomenal. Okay, and then with that said, I do want to mention some of the quicker details for the program so that there are no surprises. The enrollment cap is 65 students, but it's often a smaller group, so there's no need to fear for a very large group. It is a specialty program, so there is unyielding support from on-site staff daily. That includes 24/7 emergency support. What is awesome about this program is that there is no requirement for, you do not need to apply for a student visa prior to departure. And then similar to some of our other specialty programs, the Heredia program can be very flexible in terms of eligibility for those who are 18 and over. And it does have a preferred minimum 2.5 GPA requirement. So some of the quick details here. Okay, and I can certainly tell you why to choose USAC Heredia, but by now you all might be tired of hearing me speak, so I do want to have a special guest speak for me. I want to introduce Jacob Hutchison, an alumni of the Heredia Fall 23 program from UNR, from the University of Nevada, Reno. I loved hearing about his adventures so much that I thought he might be better able to capture why you should choose Costa Rica. So without further ado, take it away, Jacob.
Awesome. Hopefully you guys, can you hear me Awesome. Well, first off, I just want to say that I landed in Alajuela, so I'm a La Liga fan. I love Heredia, but La Liga, viva La Liga. It was truly an experience like unforgettable. Every single day was an adventure. There's, like you said, it's no short of adventure. The history is immaculate there. You walk down the street and the buildings just are flashing with like historical facts and the culture that resonates there is just amazing. You walk through San Rafael is where I was staying, and the old iglesia, the church right there. I actually had an old friend, and her grandma or grandfather actually helped build that church, and so it's just really incredible to see the architecture, the cultural history behind Costa Rica in general, and the everyone that was there. And to dive more into like the culture, the Tico culture is just something that you just can't get away from, no matter how far away I am from Costa Rica now. I still long for my Tico friends and my Tico family. It was just every single day since I landed off that plane, I've never felt more welcomed by a population. People that wanted to just shake your hand and take you out for lunch or ice cream or go wherever you want to go with you. And it was just an adventure from the get-go. And everyone there is more than happy to help you. Like Carlitos was saying, it's just a culture that is so communicative and loving and supportive, and nothing like I've ever experienced in my life. I felt like a kid again, walking through the streets, and everyone is just saying hi to me or pura vida, getting in the taxis or the Ubers, and everyone just wants to talk to you and see where you're from. And the homestay, to just go off of that as well, is just incredible. I mean, I just got off the phone with my host mom yesterday or 2 days ago, and we're still in contact constantly. It's just right when I got there and landed in Costa Rica, I actually had no prior knowledge to who I was staying with due to some technical problems, but as soon as I got there, I was welcomed into the family, and it felt like I had known them for years. And they sat me down and they were speaking to me in Spanish and asking me about my Spanish, and it was an amazing way to practice the language, and more than that, though, to being part of the culture and learning about how the culture interacts with people, and how I can interact with that culture as well. And they really helped me dive into the culture every single day by taking me to soccer games. I went with my host brother to a La Liga game versus Heredia, and of course La Liga won. Um, but it was always super fun to be around them, whether we're going out for dinner or going to the Independence Day festivals. It was no short of just adventure, like the theme of the this Au Pura Vida lifestyle. And one thing as well is I'm wearing this USAC soccer shirt as well, that my my now really good friend from Japan had created there, and we all in the program were able to get this shirt and wear it on one of our trips to Monteverde. And it's just one thing that I can't forget is just how amazing the community was, not only within Costa Rica, but within USAC, how connected I felt and how amazing the on-site staff was and how amazing my professors were. And so talking about the education as well, is the professors were incredible. If I ever felt overwhelmed with my workload, or there was always just it's hard getting accommodated with the language and housing and moving around and so many moving parts. And so my professors were right there with me, helping me one on one, working with me at all times, making sure that I was satisfied with where I was in my learning and where I needed to be as well. And so it was always just so welcoming. And then, of course, the language, Kituanis, or as I would say, Akechete, is just how awesome it was to speak the language and just being able to come from a place where really I didn't know too much of Spanish. I thought I did, and then I got there and realized that I still had a lot to learn, but it was so incredible to be able to learn that how quickly I picked up on some of the slang and some of the language barriers that I had to overcome were very quick due to how amazing my professors were, how amazing the culture was, and how amazing my host family was as well. And just locally getting on the bus every day, it was that was no short of an adventure trying to find out where the bus needed to go, or if I needed to get on the right bus, or if I ended up in Alajuela or another place. But the bus driver himself, I got to know my bus driver pretty well, and in fact he would make sure that I was on the right corner every morning when I would get there. And if I wasn't there, I would be running after the bus because I'm a little late, and he would stop and make sure that I got on. So it's just incredible to see everybody working to help me, and I knew for without a doubt if anything were to happen, I would be in the hands of the community and Carlitos and the USAC team as well. And it was just so amazing. And the convenience of going, I mean, I had no idea I was going to be living in Costa Rica um, a year ago or before I started and going out on this journey. And my professor here at UNR was like, "You got to go, and we're going to sign you up for this USAC program." And I was like, "Okay." I signed a couple papers, and that's really all it took, was just signing a couple documents, making sure everything was ready, making sure I was packed, and then I was there. I was in Costa Rica, and it was so easy to transition from here to that university. It just felt flawless and easily. And it was just the USAC program in general is just incredible. The way that it's organized, the way that everyone is, like I said, they're just to help you. They're wanting you to have the best experience you can, whether we're in Bocas del Toro, one of the famous beaches in Panama, or Puerto Viejo, and on our trips and playing. Well, I'm beating Carlitos in soccer on a Wednesday. I still, but no, it was always very fun to be able to join in on games, and my Tico friends as well that were always able to help me in any time that I needed as well, which the USAC Carlitos had organized. And still, I actually just got off the phone before this meeting with one of my Tico friends, Ken from there, and that Carlitos put together, and I was able to meet him through there. And the one last thing I'd say is when you're flying in, it's just no matter where I've lived, I've been in Portland and Washington, some of the most green areas of the US, and yet the vibrant green that you fly into when you get to Costa Rica is unlike anything you've seen. It's just incredible, the massiveness of these trees and the plants and the volcanoes and just the greenery and the ability that Costa Rica has to create sustainable practices within their culture as well is just incredible to me. And being able to drink the water anywhere I go, whether it's out of the shower or whether it's wherever I'm at, I feel safe, and I feel part of the culture. And I know that Costa Rica in general is just a loving community that has fought to keep practices high in sustainability and conservation, and making sure that everyone feels welcome when they're there. So it was nothing short of an adventure, and I'm just yearning to go back at any point that I get. So I'm sure Carlitos will see me soon again. So, but thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Jacob. I don't know if our health and safety team will advise drinking just water out of the shower, but we'll
Yeah.
we'll see how that goes. Okay. Charles, you want to say
If I
something?
if I could jump in right quick,
Mhm.
Jacob, there was a quick question from the chat, which is, what would you tell a student who's on the fence about studying abroad, whether it's the Heredia program or a different location?
Yeah, great question. I have the simple belief of you got to just send it sometimes, and if you're on the fence, that means that you're ready to go. Especially no matter what program you'll be in, you'll feel welcome there, and this is just an opportunity for you to just maybe go a little bit out of your comfort zone, but going that little bit out of your comfort zone will allow so many thousands of doors to be opened for you, like it did for me. I was definitely very nervous, I can tell you that, going into this. I had no idea where Costa Rica really even was at first, and getting on that flight and not knowing anybody or knowing what to do, just being immediately welcomed by every person in the USAC program and the culture of Costa Rica was just incredible. So I say just go for it if you're on the fence. Get someone to pressure you and sign the papers for you like they did for me, like just help you sign them. Get them to force you into a meeting with USAC, but go for it. So
Perfect. Just sign it, do it, do it. I love that. Awesome, great. Well, to move forward, as we just sort of wrap up this morning, I have one more short video, short, I promise, to highlight what we kind of talked about, but also Jacob's experiences too, and just kind of like what a day in Heredia kind of looks like. Perfect. And to actually close, I thought it would be befitting to capture some of the feedback that we have had on our program, so on USAC Heredia, that further highlight reasons students like Jacob enjoyed the program. So I'll kind of give us a moment to kind of skim through it. And yeah, a lot of different ways. Dancing, all the skills that you learn, the gastronomy, the food. Yeah, okay. Alrighty, that does conclude our session this morning. I hope that you all were able to enjoy learning about our USAC Heredia program. Be sure to scan the QR code, which I'm now seeing it's kind of like not on here. Oh, yes, it is. And learn more about our program and apply. And also follow USAC Heredia on Instagram. A lot of happenings are showcased on their Instagram page. So be sure to follow that. And I will now open the floor to any questions that you may have. It can be directed to Carlitos, myself, even Jacob. Or Charles.
And I just updated the settings, so if folks want to unmute or turn on their cameras, feel free to do so. We do have a question that came in from Justine. Jacob, what advice do you have for future students staying with a host family?
Yeah, great question again. The host families, like I said, are super welcoming, and it's also very mindful to be respectful of their house and where you are at. Just knowing that you are part of a family as well. You're gonna be walking in through those doors and being part of a family. So asking questions and being open with them is the most important part of your stay with the host family. They're never going to judge you or ask you questions about why you're asking questions. So just constantly be asking questions of whether you need to be here or there and stay in contact with them. So it's one thing that I did very well is just always make sure that my host mom knew where I was and what I was doing and that she always had me right in front of her, like whatever I needed. So
any other questions or things that are coming up for folks? Yeah, feel free to unmute and ask or throw things in the chat or the Q&A. So we got a lot of questions rolling in. Any packing tips?
Any
Yeah.
packing must-haves? Yeah, students are provided with a very individualized packing list on Gateway to sort of get an idea about what to pack. And Jacob, I think you were gonna add on to that.
Yeah, follow the packing guide and then also just make sure don't be shy to pack things that you might, want to bring on some adventures, like some clothes that are willing to get wet, whether in the rainy season or whether you're make sure to bring swimsuits, lots of swimsuits and stuff like that. And bring a camera. We brought a camera and we have some amazing pictures and videos of all of our trips. So but yeah.
Another question that came in, how will the visa work once you get to Heredia?
I can answer to that. For the visa, like all the students, they enter the country with a tourist visa. You're gonna get a stamps once you arrive to the airport, and they give you 180 days as a tourist. Okay, status. Once you're in Heredia at the Universidad Nacional, during the orientation, we're gonna collect your passports, and we're gonna switch the tourist visa, the tourist status, to a student one. So they give us like 30 days to do it. So you don't have to worry about that. What you have to bring pretty much is your passport and your flight information. And then we're gonna take care of everything else on site.
And I see
Right.
there's any packing must-haves. I'll just add into also make sure to bring lots of shoes. That was one thing that I think I was short on. I brought white shoes and they got dirty quickly. So make sure to bring some shoes that you're able to get dirty and able to bring on some adventures as well. So and Dominique asked what was one of my favorite classes was I would have to say that Spanish for medical professionals was definitely one of my favorite classes. It was really cool to learn about the human body in Spanish and then also learning about all medical terms in Spanish and going on like some field trips in the medical realm. It was really cool and interesting and very exciting at all times. So, great question.
Another question that came up is it possible to be hosted by the same family with multiple students, aka friends from the same school?
They can, what do you say, like, by hosted? I mean, not necessarily like overnight, but yeah, I mean, it's common and possible to have friends on the USAC program that you meet to come over to your host family's house. I hope that's what you mean, Joanna.
Maybe they mean also like maybe they want to stay with the same host family. Maybe like two students living with the same family. And the answer is yes, if the student requested. Normally we try to place one student per host family, but sometimes let's say like Jacob, maybe he would say like, okay, I would like to stay with Luis because he's my friend, he's my classmate. So in that case, yes, we will find a family with two different bedrooms, okay? So they can live together, they can travel together, go walk together to campus. But yes, that one is possible, yes. Just make sure that you write it down, when you apply, when you do your housing form.
All righty. Are there any final questions before we wrap up today's session? Oh, so how do we request? Can it be mixed genders in regards to that host family question that we were just discussing?
Yes, no problem, because again, we're gonna place the students, 2 students, that will be fine. 3 students, we will need to find like a bigger house, like a different host family. But normally, 2 students living with the host family, no problem. If it's a mixed gender, yes, no problem. In the past, we have like married couple, like living with the same host family. So yes, no problem. Just write it down when you do the housing form.
Yeah, and Joanna, to specify how do you request, that will be on the housing form on USAC Student Gateway. That will be where you write down all of your preferences, dietary restrictions, stuff like that. That will be where you would list the request to be hosted with a friend or a friend of mixed gender.
All righty. Well, thanks everyone for joining today. We have a lot of different sessions for USAC week coming up. We're about to actually enter into our next hour where we're going to be highlighting another one of our programs. And so, yeah, definitely check your email for the links to those sessions. And we hope to see you at more throughout the week. Thank you all. And then thank you so much, Brandon, Jacob, and Carlitos, for all the amazing knowledge that you imbued upon us today. And yeah, everyone have a great and wonderful day.
Muchas gracias, pura vida.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Gracias, pura vida.